Welcome back. It is 5 a.m. in the morning, and I just woke up. I'm gonna have some breakfast. I've been watching True Blood, and I thought I'd have some ramen noodles. So I thought I would show you guys. Since a lot of you guys request cooking videos all the time, and I usually don't have anything new to make because I just eat stuff like this, and everybody knows how to make ramen noodles. I'm gonna show you how I make them because there's a ton of different ways people make ramen. Like if you look at the package, there's all this stuff on it. Or if you watch Naruto or something, and you see like it's the Ichiyaku ramen, he's like got eggs and beef and if you hear that high-pitched whining sound down there coming from my red computer, that is why I have it turned off all the time, and it's so annoying. I can't hardly move with it. It's driving me insane. If you look at the package, there's all these beef and vegetables, and sometimes there's like eggs and stuff in the ramen. That's like the authentic Japanese ramen, I guess. And someday I hope to have that, but it's a little dusty. It's really been in my closet for a while, I guess. I don't know what kind of ramen you have, but I have Maruchan ramen, which sounds Chinese. So I guess there's Chinese and Japanese ramens, but I guess this other brand I've seen before is Ichiban Sapporo, which I think means best soup, because apparently the soup part of the ramen is really important. I usually drain the soup all the way out and just eat the noodles, but today we're going to try something a little different because I've been doing some experiments at work eating ramen. So first, I usually have 2 packs of ramen because 1 pack just really isn't enough to fill up the bowl. It's really pathetic. Take out the packets. A lot of people put the packets in at different times. Like you'll put them in after you put in the noodles and the water. I like to put in the packets with just like a dry powder and then spray some water out of a little spray nozzle on the sink to really aerate the powder and mix it up good. Or you can just use a fork and stir it around. Plus if you have 2 packets it's like more beefy. And there's also different kinds of ramen as far as instead of packs like this you have like cup ramen, which is really shitty but it does have vegetables in it. And there's these little like microwavable packets, like square things of ramen that have like this finishing sauce that you put on. Now, that stuff is really good. I think Nissin makes that. If they put that in finishing sauce with normal ramen like this, that would really be good. See, I've got the powder there in the bottom of my bowl. I'm gonna go spray some water in it. Alright, so there's my ramen soup. I've sprayed the water. I really like those spray nozzles. They're really good for making my apple tea stuff that I make too. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, like, how the fuck is he going to make ramen? He's already put them in the bowl like this. He's not even, like, using a pot. He's not boiling any water on the stove. That's because I have figured out how to microwave ramen. I've been doing it for probably a year or 2 now. Probably longer than that. I've just been microwaving ramen since I've been here, at least, so. You got your noodles. Make sure they're enough water so they can go underneath the water. Otherwise, you're going to have some dry noodles sticking out the top of the microwave after you get done. So then you have to flip them over. But I'm going to put this in the microwave for 8 minutes. And through the magic of television, this will become awesome ramen. I always wanted to do that magic of television, fast forwarding through time and space. And you can even see, like, my True Blood show has fast forwarded 8 minutes into the future. And goddamn, Anna Paquin has some really fine legs. So now what we're going to do is we have way too much soup. As you can see here at the top of this, it's like I'm going to like drain some of the soup off so it's just about halfway full. Then I'm just going to let it sit. I'm just going to put it on the sink for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Like the longer you wait, the better the noodles get. Because it soaks up all that beefy soup and it gets a more intense flavor. Like some of these noodles you can see are soaked through more than the others. Like so that one in the middle there is really white, but the ones on the outside are kind of brownish looking. So I'm going to let them all get that brown looking flavor. And then I'm going to show you the crazy stuff. Okay, we've been letting our noodles steep for about 15-20 minutes, and they're looking pretty decent now. Now I'm going to show you some experimentation I've been doing. Because I was at work the other day and I wanted some noodles, but they were kind of bland, so I was like, how can I spice them up? And the only thing I had was mustard, because I had some hot dogs earlier, so I was like, I'll squirt a little mustard on my noodles, just like so. A little piece of mustard right in there like that. Kind of mix it around. Yeah, mustardy noodles. Now it sounds strange, but it's actually pretty good. It makes them a little tangy. And if you think about it, there's all these little pieces of green herbs and stuff in these ramen, so it's usually like mustard's made out of mustard, which is an herb, so it's not that weird. So that's not bad. And here's what I usually have with my ramen: a peanut butter sandwich. Take a piece of peanut butter sandwich, like so. And you dip it in the ramen sauce. So you have a nice sloppy piece of peanut butter sandwich with ramen juice. So that's pretty good. Peanut butter and ramen. If you never tried ramen like this, it probably sounds really weird and strange to you. But here's the best, because my grandma, we used to stay at my grandma's house when I was a little kid, and she would make ramen for us. And she would slice up tomatoes on the side, and the tomato juice would kind of get mixed in with the ramen, and it tasted so good. So I'd take a can of these whole peeled tomatoes. Might actually just take a tomato like this, and just slice it up in there. Or you could just take some of the tomato juice and just pour it, like especially if your ramen's too hot. This cold tomato juice, I put mine in the fridge. Really cools it down and makes it a nice medium temperature. But look at that. Tomatoey ramen. It's really fucking good. So that's probably some new ways you've never ate ramen before, so you can give that a try if you want, see if you like it. If you don't like tomatoes, you obviously ain't gonna like tomato ramen, but I like it. It really goes together pretty good. Especially beef. Don't try this with chicken ramen or shrimp or mushroom flavored ramen, whatever kind of ramen you got. I always use beef because it enhances flavor. It's like you're eating meat with this other stuff. So peanut butter, tomatoes, mustard, all goes pretty good with ramen. Oh, and by the way, my computer's not making that sound anymore, but it smells like there's a fire, like there's smoke coming out of it. It smells like there's smoke. I don't see any smoke, but I'm thinking maybe a capacitor burned out on something, or my power supply shot something. But it's still on, so the power supply is obviously working. I just don't know what the fuck. Like, was it some kind of capacitor on my video card or on the motherboard? Like, how could it still run if it blew? But I sure don't want to leave it on much longer because it sounds like it could be dangerous, especially not while I'm gone or asleep. It could burn the house down.